Cartwright.
It's ironic, isn't it, that even with that injury to your eye, you can still do twice the amount of work that I can do.
Carl, I'm so used to doing this kind of stuff, I can do it blindfolded.
I don't know how to thank you. Without you and your sons...
Oh, Carl, come on. You want to leak your roof all winter? Well, that didn't take too long.
Well, Hoss here had to prove he could load the shingles faster than I could.
Oh, and did he?
Sure did. 4 to his 1.
Yeah, I gotta admit, he's a champ, Bob.
Oh, sounds to me like you did most of the work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is right. Joe?
Oh, you don't think for one minute
I don't
that
think nothing. I know.
Well, you know, that hurts. I mean, that hurts me that you would think that I would do something like that. Here.
So I mean to hurt your feelings.
Well, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Joseph, maybe sometime during the day you'll prove to me that you're able to nail these shingles faster than you were able to load them.
Yes.
This mountain air takes a bit of getting used to, doesn't it?
It sure does. It takes getting used to, all right. Well, you've only been here a week. Another couple of days ought to do it. Hey, why don't you sit down? The boys and I can take care of things.
Oh, I feel guilty not doing my share. I've already presumed pretty heavily on your generosity.
Oh, don't be silly. If my neighbors here hadn't helped me when I first got to this part of the country, there'd never have been a Ponderosa.
Claire'd never believe it, seeing me work like this.
Oh, is that your wife? I didn't know you were married.
I'm not. Claire's my sister. We have a home in San Francisco.
It's all right. It'll pass in a moment.
Boss, get over here, quick.
Come on, help me. What's the matter, Bo?
No.
Get the doctor, Joe.
All right.
I can admire self-reliance, Mr. Armory, but in your condition, it's foolhardy.
You aren't going to lecture me, are you, Doctor?
I laid down a strict program for you. No smoking, no drinking, and plenty of rest. True, I may not have said anything about unloading wagons and repairing roofs. When is your sister arriving from San Francisco?
Frankly, I haven't wired her to come.
Then let me send someone out from town.
No, I'd rather you didn't do that. I've never been able to get along with a housekeeper. Claire's the only woman in this world who's ever been able to tolerate me.
All right, now, why don't you send for her?
Well, Ben, don't you see it would mean taking her away from her friends in San Francisco and bringing her out here where she doesn't have an acquaintance in the world and having none of the excitement or social life of the city?
Oh, well, I must admit, Carl, we don't have the same kind of social world in Virginia City as you do in that big town of San Francisco, but I think we could entertain your sister while she's here.
Well, how? I don't know a soul in this country. Other than you, of course, and you've got better things to do than to play host to my sister.
Like what?
Thank you, Ben. Would you send the telegram for me?
Sure will. I'll write it out and have the doc taken into town.
Oh, that'll be fine. There's a pen and paper right over there on the desk.
Don't forget, Ben, before I leave, I want to take a look at that eye.
Yeah, you'd better, Doc.
sure you haven't seen Mr. Armory?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry I haven't.
Excuse me, are you Miss Claire Armory?
Oh, yes, I am. Would you put the bags in the buggy, please?
I'm Ben Cartwright, ma'am.
Yes, I know, from the stable. I told them to send me a good driver. I do hope you're experienced.
Yes, ma'am, of course. Clancy, would you put those bags in my buggy, please?
Oh, you are from the stable, aren't you?
Well, no, not exactly, ma'am. My name is Cartwright, and your brother asked me to meet the stage, but the stage was early and I was late, and I'm terribly sorry. I must apologize.
I should be the one to apologize.
No, not at all. Friends?
Friends.
Well, it's nice meeting you, Miss Armory.
Thank you.
Hope you don't mind. We'll just stop here for a moment, give the horse a breather.
Oh, not at all. Well, I can see why you prefer this to San Francisco, Mr. Cartwright. It's absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. You know, in another month, all this will be covered with snow.
Oh, what a pity, and it's so lovely and green now.
Oh, it's beautiful with snow. You want to see the high country before the snow sets in. That's something you'll never forget.
My brother seems to like this country, too, doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe he does.
How well do you know him?
Well enough to know that he's a pretty good chess player. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering. How much farther is it?
Oh, just over the ridge, about half a mile.
And she thought you were the livery man.
I'm afraid so.
Oh, it's that eye patch of yours. It makes you look very sinister.
I know.
Oh, you should have told her you got that in a hunting accident.
A hunting accident?
Oh, it was nothing, just a shell exploded in the gun chamber. Just a powder burn. It'll be all right in a couple of weeks.
I'm afraid that did influence me a bit.
It's really very funny. Claire is usually so... Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Well, Carl, I think I'd better be getting along. I still have that ranch to run.
Can't you stay for a while? I don't make friends easily, and when I do, I tend to monopolize their time. Claire accuses me quite rightly of being selfish in that respect. When will we see you again?
I did enjoy the ride, Mr. Cartwright. The countryside's just beautiful.
Well, the name is Ben, and I'd like to show you the rest of it, you and your brother.
There's still a good deal of it to see.
Yes, I'd like that very much.
Would noon tomorrow be all right, Ben?
Oh, yes, noon tomorrow would be fine, if it's all right with...
Claire?
Yes, of course.
Well, then, till noon tomorrow, then.
Fine, Carl. We'll see you then.
Bye.
I'll show you to the door.
Thank you.
I don't know what my brother's told you, Ben, but believe me, you're under no obligation to entertain me.
Obligation. Miss Armory, I consider it a privilege to entertain you. Until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow.
You like him, don't you?
I just met him. I neither like him nor dislike him.
But you wonder what he's like. I can tell you if you want.
Thank you, but I think I'd just as soon not hear it.
Oh, my dear Claire, come. He's rich. Very rich.
Yes, they always are, aren't they?
Of course. I feel you should have every chance for a happy life.
A happy life? Come on now, Carl. Let's stop fooling ourselves, shall we? Do you know what I went through after you left San Francisco? After you ran away?
Please spare me the sordid details, my dear. I'd just as soon forget it. You have such a morbid tendency to martyrdom anyway.
Well, you needn't look so frightened. Because I borrowed the money and repaid Charles. At the same time, I gave him back his ring.
You borrowed money? How much? How much?
$3,000. Just enough to pay off your gambling debt. But let me tell you, Carl, that's the last time. I won't do it again. Not ever.
Where are you going?
To unpack, do you mind? Carl, let me help you.
I can help myself.
Oh, you mustn't drink. The doctor told you shouldn't drink.
Oh, hang the doctor and hang you.
Oh, Carl, you've got to take better care of yourself.
Does it really matter?
Oh, of course it does.
My dear sister, I want only the best for you. I promise you, no tricks this time. No games.
Oh, Carl, if only I could believe that.
You can. Now you'd better go and get unpacked. Oh, Claire. Do you still have that lovely white dress I bought for you?
Yes, why?
Well, nothing. I just thought perhaps you'd wear it tomorrow. Ben Cartwright has marvelous taste and everything. I'm sure he'd like you in that dress. Will you wear it? As a favor?
You know what they call this place?
Now what?
Gray Rock.
Why?
Because of this rock. There's an old Indian legend. Once there was a war chief who fell in love with an Indian maiden. And she belonged to another tribe. One day her people left, and she went with them, and he never saw her again. And he came to this place to mourn for her. And he was never seen again. In his place, they found this rock.
You mean he's still waiting for us?
Well, the Indians think so. See that mountain? The one with the highest peak. And the Indians say that that's where God lives. They call it the place of God. And this lake, well, there's another Indian legend about that lake. See, one day, God looked out to look at the world which he had just finished creating. And it was so beautiful, it brought tears to his eyes. He began to cry. And those tears went all the way down the mountainside, all the way along here, and they formed this lake, and that's why they call it the Lake of Tears.
Oh, Ben, it is so beautiful.
Yes, it is.
I meant the lake.
Well, of course.
Tell me, do you come here very often?
No, I've been here for some time.
Why do you say it like that? Who did you bring here before? Tell me.
Little Joe's mother.
It's getting colder.
Your eye feeling any better? Hey, Pa. Is your eye feeling better?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. Now, what's your hurry? You didn't finish your breakfast.
Oh, I've got to go into town. Got to make sure that they send out that last load of timber before the big snows clog up the road.
I reckon little Joe and me'll drop over to Carl's and finish that roof today.
Roof? I thought we were going to work on a chimney.
Well, I think we ought to get that roof done first, don't you?
Who said something about fixing Carl's chimney?
I did, Pa. Carl said he had something stuck in there, and we told him we'd fix it for him.
Oh. Oh, well, good. Then I'll meet you there on the way back from town.
Notice Pa's kind of preoccupied lately.
Yeah. Sure had. Wonder what's troubling him anyhow.
You looked at Carl's sister lately? as good as new.
The most beautiful roof I ever saw. Thank you, boys, so much.
I'll guarantee you won't leak a drop, neither. You'll be as snug as a bear in there this winter.
Now, horse cart ride. Do I look like a bear?
Oh, no, ma'am. I reckon you don't on second thought.
Hoss, we better get started on the chimney. Now that I've got the roof fixed, I'm going to need all the help I can get. I've got the hammer. You bring the ladder. Oh, work's never done.
You see anything up there, boss?
Well, there's some kind of obstruction up there.
Oh, really?
Yep. Wait a minute. I think I know what it is.
Yeah?
Yeah. You remember the shingles you couldn't find? The ones you misplaced?
Yeah.
You probably pushed them in the chimney.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have been you, could it? When you was leaning up against the chimney up there bossing me, huh?
That's very unlikely.
Figures.
Can you give me a hand with the ladder? We'll have it done in a second. Easy does it. Oh, that's dirty. Got it solid there?
There you are, little brother. Go get him.
Hey, I better get up there.
Why me?
How am I going to go up there? I can't see. It's dark up there.
Oh, yeah.
Have it done in a second. Easy there. Hey, say anything?
Not a thing. It's dark up here.
Yeah, I told you it was dark. Can you reach whatever it is?
It's just a little bit over to the right.
To the right. Gotcha!
No, Joe, we ain't gonna never get all that stuff off that rug.
Oh, sure you will.
Me? Now, we ain't gonna start that again, are we?
Well, fine. If you want Claire to know you're just doing a job halfway, that's up to you.
Well, I always did say if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing all the way.
That's the spirit.
She sure is a nice lady, ain't she?
Yeah, she sure is. Here's some soap. She took it real good the way we messed up her living room.
Yeah. Hey, reckon how serious Paul is about her, sure enough.
Well, I don't think we got a thing to worry about until he starts buying her roses.
Yeah, this will be just fine, Charlie, just fine. Oh, and don't forget the champagne, eh?
Don't worry, Ben. I'll take care of everything. Friday evening, the private dining room, Ben Cartwright and guests.
Exactly, fine. Oh, and let's have some flowers around the table, huh?
What kind of flowers?
Roses. Red roses, lots of them.
Just leave it to me, Ben.
Thank you, Charlie. Bye.
These roses are so beautiful, Ben. How did you know they're my very favorite flower?
Well, I just hoped they might be.
And the dinner was delightful. I'm sorry Carl wasn't well enough to join us.
Yes, so am I. No, I take that back. I'm glad he wasn't here. If he'd been with us, it would have been a different kind of evening.
Oh? In what way?
Well, I wouldn't have been able to talk about myself so much. Has anyone ever told you you're a very good listener?
Has anyone ever told you you're a very good storyteller?
Well, anyway, now you know why my roots are so deep in this country. What about you? Was it always San Francisco?
No. No, once it was New England. That's where Carl and I were born.
Oh.
But after our parents died, we were shifted from one relative to another. Never stayed in any one place long enough to call it home. Then later...
Later?
Later, there was a marriage to a young doctor. A very brief one. We were both terribly young. And I'm afraid I was a bit too fanciful. I built my castle so high that there was no possible way to reach it.
You never tried again?
No, I found that dreamers are too vulnerable. Dreams can be very painful. And the price of castles much too high.
Claire, if the price of castles ever came down, would you try again?
Perhaps.
I'd like to propose a toast. May the price of castles plummet.
Was that Ben leaving?
Yes.
Didn't he come in?
We said goodnight at the door. Are you feeling better?
Mostly. The pain subsides when I lie down.
It was wrong of me to go off and leave you. You really shouldn't have insisted.
Well, there was nothing you could have done. Was it a pleasant evening?
Oh, yes, it was wonderful. Ben had everything all arranged. I'm sorry you missed it.
The important thing is that you didn't. Is he falling in love with you?
No. We're just good friends, that's all.
Are you sure, Claire?
I'm really quite tired. I think I'll say goodnight, Carl.
Good night, Claire. Oh, Claire. Are you going to see him tomorrow?
As a matter of fact, I am. He's showing me the Ponderosa.
Oh, that'll be nice, won't it?
Carl, please, you promised me.
Of course. And I always keep my promises, don't I?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This is the last of the Ponderosa I'm going to show you today. It's getting cold. I'm sorry about the wind that comes with the season, not the ranch.
Oh, Ben, I love it. It feels like winter.
What you feel is that snow on the mountains. You know that wind whips across the snow and across ice packs 1,000,000 years old.
Oh, nothing's 1,000,000 years old.
Oh, some things are 1,000,000 years old.
Like what? Like wind and glaciers and mountains?
Yeah, like wind and glaciers and mountains.
And what else?
Well, I can't think right now. We better get back. Maybe Hop Sing has some hot coffee in the fire.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Well, you get yourself over by the fire and thaw out. I'll get the hot coffee. Like it?
I don't have to tell you it's magnificent. You know that. It's you, Ben. It's you and someone else.
I'll, take a coat. You make yourself comfortable. Oh, would you like some brandy in your coffee?
Oh, no thanks. Just coffee.
you enjoy your ride?
Oh, it was marvelous. Ponderosa's unbelievable.
I'm glad you liked it. I just want to say hello. I got some work to do.
Joe, is this your mother?
Yeah, that's her.
She was very beautiful.
Yeah, she was. And so are you.
You were quite young when she died, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, she died right after I was born. I never knew her.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. It's something I never had, so I never missed it.
Never?
Almost never. I better stop talking and get to work.
If you want your coffee hot, come and get it.
I've been exploring.
Oh?
I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. The house is yours.
Oh, no. Not mine. It's yours, Ben Cartwright. It could never be mine, really.
Now, you don't really mean that.
But I do. You see, I think I'm falling in love with you. And that's ridiculous. It's not possible, not for me.
Why not? Why not to both of us?
You know, in all my life, I've never met anyone quite like you. Even in the short time we've been together, I've come to know you.
Black patch and all.
The kind of man you are. But loving you, being anything meaningful in your life, that's impossible.
Are you sure?
Oh, no. No, I'm not sure of anything. But let's not make it more difficult. Will you take me home?
On one condition. That you give us time to know each other. Give us both a chance.
All right. At least we can always be friends.
Yes. Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
There's one other condition.
There is?
You see, we must have that coffee. Because if we don't, Hop Sing will never make another meal for us.
Oh, Ben.
You have just walked into a disaster. Reaping the harvest?
Yep. Looks like the end of the game any way you look at it, Joe.
Was I supposed to know you were a genius?
Well, you spend so dang much of your time thinking about yourself being a genius, that's why. Hey, Paul, how about a little game of checkers? The competition's getting a little thin.
Yeah, sure as heck you're not.
It's all muscle.
Between your ears.
Yeah, I was just thinking how wonderful it is to be in this house. You ever stop to think how well ordered this household is?
If you mean how well we all get along here, that's right.
No, you know, how things are done properly and routine.
Yeah, with Hop Sing doing all the housework and the cooking, and you keeping me and Hoss busy with the chores, we get everything done.
Oh, come on, I don't look at that. I was just thinking that for three bachelors, we do pretty good.
Yeah, I reckon we do at that. I don't reckon there's three fellas anywhere to get along any better than we do. You reckon, Joe?
I know there's not.
No, that's for sure. Of course, most other households, they'd need a woman.
Well, of course, there is a lot to be said for him.
Oh, of course, there's a good deal to be said for him. I guess when three fellas live together for any length of time, they sort of tend to get stayed in their ways. And if any outsider came along, a stranger or something, it would kind of disrupt things, I think.
Well, no, I don't think it has to. I mean, I think it'd all depend on who the person was. I mean, some people would come in and disrupt things, but then again, there'd be other people who'd come in, and I mean, they'd be welcome. They'd fit in just fine.
Sure. The right one came along, why, should be more than welcome.
Yeah, well, I would think so, too. Just that... Oh, I think the subject would have to be discussed, you know. Wouldn't be right just to bring someone in without, well, at least asking for approval.
Well, I think that's something we ain't got to worry about around here, Paul. I mean, if one of us decided to, get married, I don't think you'd have to worry about the others approving. Do you, Joe?
No, I mean, I'd approve.
Leave Virginia City? Why?
It's time we found a warmer place for you. Frost will be setting in here very soon.
But that won't be for a few weeks yet. It's still early October.
Well, then I'll go on ahead and find something for us. You can join me in a week or two.
But don't you like it here? I thought you and Ben...
What did you think about us?
Well, Ben's grown fond of you.
Yes, I know he has.
He's been courting you, Claire.
I don't want to hurt him.
But you do care for him, don't you?
My relationship with Ben Cartwright won't go any further. We're leaving here, Carl, and that's final.
On what? We're broke. We're living here on credit now.
Well, I have a little money saved. It isn't much, but if we're careful, it'll do.
Carl! Well, come on in. Good to see you.
I was just on my way back from town, and I thought I'd stop by.
Well, good. I'm glad you did. Give me a hat. Now, hot drink, cold drink, what'll it be?
No, thank you, Ben.
Something wrong?
The real estate broker informs me he's found a buyer for the house. Claire and I will have to be out within the week. The pity of it is I'd planned to purchase the house and stay on here as a surprise to Claire. Now it looks as though we'll have to return to San Francisco.
Well, Carl, if you were going to buy the house, why don't you?
Well, the broker tells me he can't hold the other buyer past 4 today. He'll require a check from me as a binder.
Does that present a problem?
Well, my funds are in transfer from San Francisco. They won't arrive until tomorrow, and my account here is insufficient to meet that need.
Well, how much do you need?
$3,800.
Well, I think I can let you have that.
You do that, Ben?
Well, of course.
Well, I'll give you a post-dated check to cover yours.
Well, that won't be necessary, Carl.
Oh, I can hardly expect you to take me on faith.
I'd expect you to take me on faith.
Well, I insist upon it, Ben. I won't tell Claire about this until the papers come through in a few days. I want it to be a surprise.
Well, I hope she'll be pleasantly surprised. There we are. This really isn't necessary.
No, I feel better about it. I've dated mine the day after tomorrow. It'll be good by then.
Well, good. All right, now let's have a drink, huh?
Oh, no, thank you, Ben. I've got to get to the broker.
Oh, yes, you'd better. Here.
Thank you, Ben.
I didn't intend to cheat Ben out of that money. I may have lied about why I wanted it, but that's all.
promised me no more lies, no more swindles.
I did it for you, Claire.
From the moment I arrived here, you threw Ben and me together. You made excuses so we could be alone. You had everything all planned. It was just another one of your crazy schemes.
Why won't you listen to me?
Because I know what you're up to. And I'd hoped and prayed. I'd even dared to dream again.
Listen to me. I did it for you. We needed that money to get away from here, didn't we? I hoped that I could make a better life for you. I hoped that I could in some way repay you for all the years that you took care of me.
It won't work anymore, Carl. I've heard it too many times.
Why won't you listen to me?
You're a liar.
Claire, please believe me. You must believe me.
It's too late, Carl.
Claire, you wouldn't leave me alone. You can't leave me alone. Claire!
Carl? Carl? Carl! Carl, answer me! It's Carl. He's had another attack. It's the worst one yet.
Hoss, get the doctor.
Right, Paul.
Let's go. Doctor's gone. Claire, the doctor said he couldn't find any reason for Carl's attack, any physical reason. But he did say that Carl seemed awfully upset.
Well, we'd quarreled. I refused to accept his excuses any longer. Oh, Ben, I'm so sorry for what he tried to do to you. He just doesn't understand. He's like a child. He doesn't realize what he's doing. He honestly believes some of these wild schemes of his might work.
Yeah, I guess it is childish to think that you can say you have a bank account when you don't have one. It's so easy to check.
Oh, he's never had an account. He's squandered every cent he's ever had.
Why do you put up with it?
Because I have to. Because one night when we were little, I woke up because I was cold. There were some embers in the fireplace, and I poked at them. The next thing I knew, the curtains had caught fire and the house was in flames. My mother and father lost their lives. And Carl's lungs were permanently damaged by smoke. I remember when they carried him out. I was crying and I said, oh Carl, don't worry. I'll always be here. I'll always be here to take care of you.
It's an awfully long time to bear a cross.
Oh, Benny isn't really bad. I know he'll change someday.
Maybe he will. But until he does, if he does, what about you? Are you just going to go along with all his crazy schemes and get-rich-quick plans and deceptions?
I don't know. What can I do?
Marry me.
Ben, I failed once because of him.
Carl will be well taken care of. Claire.
Oh, Ben. Dear Ben, if only that could be true.
can be true. If you let it. Please. Let it.
I can't give you an answer now.
When?
I have to have time to think. Please, I have to have tonight to think.
All right. But tomorrow.
Yes, Ben. Yes, tomorrow.
Do you know what I've been thinking about lying here?
No.
My 6th birthday. It was the first year after Mother and Father left us. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
You were the only one to remember my birthday. You gave me your last toy, and it's been that way ever since. You're taking care of me. It'll be different in the future. I'm going to do for you. Are you still angry with me?
No, Carl, I'm not angry.
There is going to be a future for us, isn't there? You didn't mean what you said before.
Yes, I meant it.
Claire, I'm sick and I'm afraid. Don't you know how frightened I am when I'm alone?
Yes, I know.
Then don't leave me. You're going to marry him and leave me alone, aren't you? He's asked you, hasn't he?
Yes, he's asked me.
Don't marry him. Don't leave me all by myself. I'll be good, Claire. I promise. Please don't marry him.
Please, Carl, don't.
You did this to me. It's your fault. I'm the way I am. You started that fire, Claire. It's all your fault.
Please, Carl, please don't do that.
You promised. You promised you'd never send me away. You swore you'd take care of me. Claire, I need you. I need you, Claire. I need you.
Joe?
My horse and I just rode by the Armory place on the way up to North Pasture. Well, the house is deserted, Pa. There's nobody there.